Hey guys, a video for our Buying a House in Japan playlist. So you might remember this big old storeroom at the back of the old farmhouse. Recently you would have seen it in the recycling the metal video and also the ceiling, the outside ceiling job. So that pile of recycled metal there, the foam that we used in that ceiling job. So it's sort of a pretty handy room this, store all sorts of things. You might recognise the timber up in the ceiling there that we pulled down and used. So this is what that room looked like before the job. Big pile of polystyrene. So once we used that polystyrene and that wood, that job was finished, it gave us an opportunity to tidy this place up a bit, make the space a bit more useful. Those of you with families would agree that space is always a useful thing when you have little people in your life. So, got the unskilled tidying up dude. All that polystyrene was gone off the top of that thing there. That thing there, that big box that these windows and doors are being put on top of, is actually an old chicken coop. Those of you who have been with us for over 10 years might remember the outside of this building used to have an old chicken coop that we removed. And that chicken coop came inside there, and that's still underneath that box is the remains of the chicken coop, which is just too messy to want to deal with, so we just leave it sealed up. It's just that sealed box in the corner of the room. So these doors, some of them we've removed from different parts of the house as we've done our renovations, and others were already stacked up when we moved into the place 10 years ago, that they've been removed from different parts of the house by the previous owner, as he's done different renovations, we suspect. So some of them are really old, some of them not so old, some of them might be just only 50 years old, something like that one. So just keeping them, you never know when a door might be handy. We've got a good variety of doors. Oh, these are the doors from the Butsudan that we took off ourselves, so we're keeping them, and these are quite nice ones too. These ones went between the tatami room and the veranda of the house, so keeping those. So you never know, we might need a door sometime in the future, but also they all have, a lot of them have wheels, little wheels underneath, because they're sliding doors. And those little wheels do wear out on the existing doors that are in the house. So it's a handy source of rollers if we need a roller. And these are those decorative doors that go between rooms. Not in real good condition, those ones. We replaced those. Some of you might have seen on a previous job. We had some ones that were in good nick that we used. Oh, and these 3 tatami mats. So 2 of them are pretty good. One of them's got 1 cigarette burn on it. The old guy that lived here before put cigarette burns on everything. Everything in the house had cigarette burns. He obviously used to put his cigarettes down and burn surfaces with it. But tatami are handy to keep, because if something serious gets spilt on a tatami mat or other damage is done to a tatami mat, it's good to have a backup. So we've got 2 good spare tatami and 1 that's got that little cigarette burn on it. So it's good to know they're there. That's the other good thing about tidying up like this. You always find what you have. It's like a big stock take. So we know exactly what we've got now. So yeah, 2 decent tatami, one other one with a little thing on it, little burn on it. So that's just putting a rope down just in case of earthquake. 1 rope down just to keep those doors from falling down in an earthquake. And the tatami most accessible because they're the most likely to be used. Most of those doors probably never be used again, but the tatami might. So it's just putting that rope down to keep those doors from falling over in an earthquake. Tatami will be alright there, covered up. Lots of vacuuming, pretty dusty. Everything was dusty. So the idea is make everything more tidy and tidy up, suck up as much dust as possible as well so the place isn't as dusty. Oh, it's an old sofa. That sofa, about 12 years ago, cost $20. It was 2,000 yen at a second-hand shop, and it was excellent. It was in really, really good condition, and it folded out to make a bed. We think it was that cheap just because it was a bit big and it was hard for them to sell. Geez, it was a bargain. So it's all worn out now. It's no good now. But we're sort of keeping it. You never know. Those of you who've been with us a while would have seen us repurpose all sorts of things over the years. So we keep all sorts of odd things. So just tidying up this corner. They're snowboards. So we got winter stuff here and summer stuff. So okay, snowboards, put them up the top. Couple of big metal boxes there with old blankets. We got tons and tons, as you'll notice, tons and tons of old blankets and old doonas and futon and things that we really didn't want to use in the house because they're of questionable background, but they're good to keep. We use them for painting and covering things, and when we need an old blanket for something, put the blanket down on the ground when we put the pool down for the kids, and there's all sorts of things we use the old blankets for. And if they get covered in paint or they get too dirty, just throw them away. Really handy things. Oh, that's a TV with a built-in VCR player. How weird's that? Probably never get used again, but just a bit of a thing to keep. You never know. Someone has some old video cassettes one day, you might want to play them. So this is before and after already. So the metal there, still there for the recycling. That's old pipes from the old aircon hanging from the ceiling up there. And the wood and the polystyrene. And that's what it looks like today. Tidied up that end as well. All that pottery and nice stuff we used to sell to you guys on eBay. Just too much hassle now. Just not worth doing anymore, sadly. But that's a better space, isn't it? You know, we get these periods of time where we get a couple of weeks of rain, not a dry day for 2 weeks. A space like this, that's now considerably more tidy and less dusty, is a handy place to have. The kids can come in here and do anything. They can do painting. Or the unskilled painter too could come in here and paint something or do some other unskilled behaviour in that room. A little bit more handy now than it was before, isn't it? Anyway, there was that. More videos coming soon.